Hello Year 6 and welcome to your math session for today. So on the board you've got some fluency questions. It says can you find the first 10 multiples of each of these numbers, and then you need to find the lowest common multiple. So the lowest multiple that is in all the different times tables. So have a go at doing that, and then I will put your answers on in a second. Okay, right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's put your answers on. Okay, so your first 10 multiples of each number, I've wrote them out for you, and then it was asking for the lowest common multiple. So lowest common multiple that is in all of the times is in the 3, 4, 6, and 8 times table is 24. As you can see there, I highlighted it in orange. There it is. So today's job is to compare an order with the numerator. So we did this the other day with denominator. We're just doing it again with the numerator. So when the something are the same, the larger the smaller the fraction. So this one here is when the numerator are the same, the larger the denominator, the smaller the fraction. So if you've got two fractions like 1/3 and then 1/4, the numerator is the same in both of them. It's both 1, but the larger the denominator means the more pieces that has been split into, so that gives you a smaller fraction. We're going to use inequality symbols to compare fractions. We're going to use lowest common multiples to make the numerator of fractions the same, and we're going to convert mixed numbers to improper fractions to compare using the numerator. So we're doing something different today. So before we compared using the denominator, this time we're going to compare using the numerator. So quick recap of what we did the other day. So which is larger? This is 1, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts that make that whole, so that's 1/5. And that is 1/4. So which is the larger fraction? So we can see there the largest fraction is the 1/4. So we're going to put 1/4 is greater than 1/5 is greater than 1/4. Sorry. Okay, now let's have a look at the next one. We've got what they've done here is they've changed it slightly. We've got 1/5 and 3/5. So 3/5, 1/5 is smaller than 3/5. Here we've got the same here where we've got the denominators the same. So you've got 1/4 and 3/4. 1/4 is smaller than 3/4, and then we've got 3/5 and 3/4. Well, 3/5 is here, 3/5 is here, sorry, 3/4 is here. You can see that the 3/4 is the larger, so we need to do 3/5 is smaller than 3/4. So for here, for our sentence starters, it says when the denominators are the same, the larger the numerator, the greater the fraction. When the numerators are the same, the larger the denominator, the smaller the fraction. Okay, so when the numerators are the same, the larger the denominator, the smaller the fraction. So let's have a go at doing this one. So it says use the bar models to compare 2/3 and 2/4. So if we do some terrible colouring in like we did yesterday, this one is in thirds, it's 3 pieces, so if we colour in 2, 1, 2, and then we do this one as 2/4, so we need to do 2 of the 4, 1, 2. You can see that the 2/3 is greater than, so we need to write here 2/3 is greater than 2/4, and then 2/4 is smaller than 2/3. Okay, and then this one here, use the bar models to compare 3/5 and 3/6. This top one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the bottom one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 3/5, which is 1, 2, 3, and 3/6, which is 1, 2, 3. So if you do that, you can see that the 3/5 is larger than 3/6. So we're going to write here 3/5 is greater than 3/6. Oops. And we've got here 3/6 is smaller than 3/5. Obviously, you would put your lines in, but I'm just doing it this way to make it quick for you. Okay. So it says here, Jack is comparing 2/5 and 4/7 by finding the lowest common multiple of the numerators. This is different to what you would normally do. So for this one, he's trying to make the numerators the same rather than trying to find the denominators the same. This is a little bit strange because normally when you're doing it, you're always going to make the denominators the same. But for this lesson, we are going to change it and do it to the numerator instead as a way of comparing them. So here, he's made the 2/5 and he's found a common multiple of the two numerators, which was 2 and 4. And so he's making them both into 4s. So he's got 2/5, he's made it into 4/10. And then we've got 4/10 and then 4/7. Okay, so he's comparing the two. Now, the thing is, when the numerator is the same, the larger the denominator, the smaller the fraction. So here you can see that the 10 is larger than the 7. So therefore, 4/10 is going to be smaller than 4/7. So we're going to do the same over here. Now, let's look at this first one on the left. We've got 3 and 12, and we're trying to find something, a multiple of both 3, a multiple of 3 that has got the same one, so we can make it into the same. The easiest way of doing this is to change this fraction to make it into 12s. To make it into a 12 at the top. Sorry, it's a different way of thinking about it. I have to use my brain a little bit differently. So to get from 3 to 12, you multiply by 4. We do the same to the denominator. So whatever we do to the numerator, we do to the denominator. So that becomes 12 over 5 times 4 is 20. So we've got 12 over 20. And then 12 over 17. Now, remember what we said, the larger the denominator, the smaller the fraction. So it's an opposite way of thinking that. The larger the denominator, the smaller the fraction. 20 is the larger number. It's larger than 17, so therefore this fraction is smaller. So we've got it as, that was the 3/5, wasn't it? 3/5 is smaller than 12 over 17. Right, see if we can do the same for this side now. I know there's something straight away I can do to the 3/5 to help me, because this is a 6 at the top. I can make this one into a 6 quite easily by multiplying by 2. If I multiply the numerator by 2, I must multiply the denominator by 2. So that becomes 6 over 10. So we've now got, that one there is 6 over 10. The original one is, of course, 6 over 11. So which is the smaller one? But remember, the larger the denominator, the smaller the fraction. So 6/11 and 6/10, this is the larger one, so that must be the smallest. So 6/11 is smaller than 3/5. Okay. Right, we're going to have a go at doing this, so I would like you to pause the video and have a go of it independently, and then I will go through the answers. So have a pause and have a go through this question. Okay, I'm going to put the answers on very soon. Okay, I'm going for it now. So we're trying to make the numerators the same, not the denominators. So the denominators are already the same. So we could technically already do that one, but we're going to do it anyway. So we need to make the numerators the same. So that's 6. We can do something to the 2 to make 6, because a multiple of 2 is 6. So if we do 2 times 3, we get 6. So that would give me 6. Whatever we do to the numerator, we must do to the denominator. So times the bottom by 3, which gives us 15. So we've got 6 over 15, and this side over here stays as 6/5. So remember what we said, the larger the denominator, the smaller the fraction. 15 is much larger than 5, so therefore that one is going to be the small one. I mean, if you had your set of wits about you, and obviously we're not comparing denominators this time, but the denominators were the same. This is 6/5, which is over 1, because it's going to be 1 and 1/5, so that is larger than a whole one. This is, of course, smaller. In fact, when we start getting onto decimals, you'll start to see how small that is. Anyway, let's move on to this one. So if you had got this one, straight away you should notice that you can do something to this 4 to make it into a multiple, because 8 is also a multiple of 4. So if we times this one by 2, remember, multiply the numerator, multiply the denominator, that becomes 8 over 12, and this one, of course, stays the same, so it becomes 8 over 9. Remember, the larger the denominator, the smaller the fraction. So the larger denominator is 8 over 12. Therefore, that one is going to be our smaller one. Oops. Not doing very well there. Right, brilliant. So we've done that one there. So we've got the same one again, but this time we have also got whole numbers. Now, a bit of a school of thought here. These ones should be easy to do because if you look at the whole numbers, it should give it away for you. Just saying. Okay, let's go through it together. So this one is 2, a whole one. This one's 3. 3 is instantly larger. So the larger side is going to go to that. If the two whole numbers were the same and the fractions were different, then you would just compare the fractions. But because the whole numbers are different anyway, you might as well just you don't need to. You can just compare it like this way. We can see that's greater straight away. Obviously, these two fractions. The numerator is the same for both of them. So if we're comparing it this way, then we can also see that if we were looking at just the 2/6 and the 2/4, you can see that this 2/6 is smaller than 2/4, but because of the whole numbers, this one is obviously bigger. And then this one on the right here, I mean, if you're going to change that fraction, you'd double it, wouldn't you? Make it into 2/10. But again, this is a 3, that is a 2, therefore this one has to be larger because it's got more of a whole number. So therefore that one is smaller. Easy, those ones. Okay, so your work is on the school website. You need to work through. It goes all the way up to pentagons today, so make sure you're getting onto the extensions if you can. If you have any issues, because obviously it's a little bit different to what we've done before. Obviously, this is the opposite of what we did the other day. So we're comparing numerators, not denominator. And the hardest thing I think that's to remember for you guys is to remember that the larger the denominator, if the numerator is the same, the larger the denominator, the larger the fraction. Okay, so if it's a bigger number as the denominator and the numerators are both the same, it's going to be bigger. Smaller. It's going to be smaller. Honestly, let's go through that again. So if the numerators are the same, the larger the denominator, the smaller the fraction. So if the denominator is larger, then the fraction is going to be smaller. Okay. Whew. You have to remember that. Just keep coming back to your sentence starters and you'll be okay, honestly. You can get on with your work now, but I am going to put your skill shop on. So if you finish, you can come back and do your skill shop. Skill shop is there. Okay. So have a go at your skill shop and then send it to me and I will mark them for you. Okay, I'm going to go through the answers now for these. So if you've not done them, do them, but if you are ready, we'll go for it. So we find an equivalent fraction. So what's happened to the 12 to get to 24? We've times it by 2. Do the same to numerator, so that one becomes 6/24. This one here, it's gone from 15 to 3. So what do you do to 15 to get to 3? You divide by 5, so therefore you divide the numerator by 5, so that gives you 1. So it becomes 1/3. This one here, to get from 18 to 6, you divide by 3. So 12 divided by 3, it gives you 4, so it's 4/6. 4/6. This one here, you've gone from 9 to 3, so you've divided by 3. 21 divided by 3 gives you 7. So it should be 3/7. 8/24, we've gone from 8 to 1, so we've divided by 8. So therefore we need to do 24 divided by 8, which gives you 3. Okay, so those are your answers. Your sheet is on the school website. Off you go then, you're ready to go. See you later. Bye.